Everybody, how you doing tonight? I want to talk some more about the Roy Moore situation and the sexual misconduct conduct of people like Donald Trump, of Roy Moore, and many more, including Bill Clinton, Al Franken, and all these people. We're not taking this seriously enough. This is bull fucking shit. How little these guys are giving attention to what they've done. These young girls that are being treated this way, like with Roy Moore, 14, 15, 16-year-old girls that are being treated like this by somebody that was in a position of power where they were afraid and he took advantage of them. This is really something that should be, we should not be thinking about this guy for the Senate. It's like somebody says, if you get kicked out of the mall, you should be kicked out of the Senate. So people that don't take this stuff seriously, what I'm really pissed off about is I'm pissed off about how fucking Trump got away with it and still gets away with it to this day. There are men in prison today that have done less than Donald Trump did. And he's the president of the United States. And this guy, his first wife said that he raped her. And not only raped her, he violently raped her and put it in a book. Obviously money comes into play and power and politics come into play. So, she's not talking about it now, but I believe that's exactly what happened. So this guy's a pig. He's a fucking pig. And I made a video about it a long time ago, about how I could never like Donald Trump because of the way he treats women and disrespects women. And these young girls, like Roy Moore was taking advantage of, and Donald Trump, these young girls, this is not something where it's a conquest for them and the next morning they forget about it and they're on to something else. These young girls have to think about this for the rest of their lives. It's emotionally damaging to them. They have to live with this. They're not experienced like he was. They're not able to just think it was no big deal like Donald Trump. Boyish talk, locker room stuff. And for all the people that went along with that, you know what? You should really be ashamed of yourself. You should be ashamed of yourself for letting people get away with calling this boyish talk and locker room stuff. This was serious stuff. Like I said, there's tons of men in prison right now for a lot less. They did a lot less than what Donald Trump did, But because of power, politics, and people thinking this guy was draining the swamp, they let him die with it. And it's really bullshit. And you know what? I'm really pissed off about it, because I know that this is stuff that damages people for their entire life. Their entire life, they live with this stuff. They feel like maybe it was their, they did something, or they feel some burden over it, or they're afraid to tell people about it. They're afraid to discuss it. So they live with this burden for the entire life. Like people like Roy Moore and Donald Trump run around, and play big shot. So we just don't take this serious enough. It's not serious enough. Donald Trump should be called out on this, instead of Sarah Huckabee Sanders saying, the only difference between Donald Trump and Al Franken is Donald Trump doesn't admit to it, and Al Franken does. What kind of stupid, fucked up logic is that, you fucking pig? Just because Trump won't admit to it, why don't you deal with the fucking issue? Why don't you deal with what it is that he did? Why don't you deal with what he's done, the damage he caused to somebody, women, that had to deal with his incredible, disgusting, illegal behavior. So anyway, I'm really mad about this. I'm really mad because I know how much this could hurt a young girl. Young girls aren't experienced by being with older guys that just want to go in there and take advantage of them. And this is something that they have to live with. And this is something they have to think about for the rest of their lives. And people like Roy Moore and Donald Trump could give a fuck less about it. They could give a fuck less about it. Because they just move on and they don't think anything about it. And Donald Trump's a good example of this by not even addressing it. All he ever says is that anybody that, one girl or one woman, he said, well, I wouldn't, do her because she's too ugly. And this is the way he addresses this stuff, is that he just makes fun of it, and then he gets everybody to go along with it, just like he said, hey, he could kill someone on Fifth Avenue and he wouldn't lose a voter, or he wouldn't lose any of his base, and that's about it right. So if you want a pig, which he is a pig, in the White House, doing, that's done disgusting behavior, and will not own up to it, will not admit to it, and won't even have any remorse or regret about it. You know, it just makes me mad. I don't know what to say. It just makes me mad. I could swear here all night long. I could say every cuss word there is, but it would just not make any difference because they don't care. So thanks for watching. I appreciate it.